Welcome to the 90-Day Broadcast Show.
Hi, this is Krista Renee. The month of June is celebrated for Father's Day, but on the 90-Day Podcast Show, it's All Men Month. That's right. My guests will be all men, not only to talk about Father's Day, but other topics. Check it out. New episode starts June 6, 2021 on the 90-Day Podcast Show, presented by Krista Renee. Hi, this is Krista Renee. Welcome to the 90-Day Podcast Show. Today's guest is Don Mack. And Don Mack, I want to welcome you to the 90-Day Podcast Show. As you know, the month of June is All Men's Month. And this is the time for all men to come on the podcast to speak what's on their minds, as long as it's positive, uplifting, and it can help the next man or next woman to share their testimonies, to share their achievements, development, and growth. So, let's begin. Let's start off with, how are you?
Fine. Number one. Doing great.
Okay.
And grateful to God to get like to the point of waking me up this morning to be here.
I know that's right. And I want to say in advance, Happy Father's Day.
Thank you.
Are you looking forward to celebrating your Father's Day with your family?
Oh yeah, of course.
Okay.
I'm willing to celebrate the Father of my family because with the happy Father that I do have, because my daughter, she's not here right now. She's in the Navy, so I still have my son and my wife currently here with me at the same time. So I gotta get like to point. And my dog, I kind of man because I feed him. I wish I could file more income tax, okay? but I can't. So hopefully one day I can, because she do eat a lot. But and by the way, men in general, this is June month. I'm talking to you about men and about us because it's like to a point like that. We have been through so much. I mean, you have good men in life and you have bad men in life. Sometimes you could be nice to your wife if you marry, and sometimes you could be nice to a female if you're not married. Sometimes people take you for granted. You know what I'm talking about, men's. I'm pretty sure you get like to a point like sometimes you bring roses into the house going on. That does not mean that she love you. That means that she accept that. On the high that you really know that a woman that really love you is like to a point like that she'll show it. And she get like to a point like that. You know it when she get like to a point where she accepted you as in a relationship.
When you say accept, does it always have to be accepting the baggage, meaning the kids, the ex-wife, the ex-girlfriends, whether they're insane or not, his baggage?
Well, what I mean by the accept, it's like to a point like the whole packages. Men know what I'm talking about. When I say whole packages, because you get like to a point like, when I say accept, don't want to throw nobody off. When I say accept, it's meaning like to a point like, do you accept me the way that I am, and the way and what I do have in the past? Because some men might have kids in the past. Sometimes it can get in the way. But you know what though? In the meantime, but don't let that stop you though. But in the meantime, it's like to a point like that. If it work out, that's fine. But just don't get like to a point like, I'm not trying to tell y'all men what to do. Y'all gonna do whatever you want to do. I'm speaking from my heart. I know I'm just not gonna rush up in there no more. Because go right back to what my mother told me way back in the days. If I would have listened to her way back in the days, I would have been pretty right about now. My mother told me way back in the days, you worry about yourself. Get yourself situated before you get to a point like thinking about another relationship. It's all about us men. I know sometimes we let a female get in the way because they look good. Don't let that disturb you. Looks is mischievous.
You mean deceiving?
Right, deceiving. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
When you say looks is deceiving, can you get more depth into that?
Yeah, I can, because like to a point like, just like females can get like to a point like, they do the same thing. They go back, they look at men because they look and make so bad about it, and they get hurt. But we men, we got to be a lot smarter than that. We cannot be stuck on stupid because of the looks. Because looks don't live your life. You live your life. God live your life. Just because you see a beautiful woman walking down the street, beautiful woman get like to point like you because you look good, girl, this can be a problem later on down the line. And I'm pretty sure y'all men have been through that current going in the situation current going on, can relate and can understand.
Okay. Have you been? You've been married, and are you still married?
Right now, I'm not married right now. I'm in a relationship that right now, but I'm taking care of my kids. I'm in a relationship that with a woman that I have married, but it didn't work out. It wasn't her fault. It was my fault because I done some things that got like to a point to hurt her going on in order for to get her to get to a point to divorce me. But you know what though? But right now though, it seems that like I'm starting relationship all over again. It's just like boyfriend and girlfriend, which is much better. I love her even more now.
Okay, can you explain to a lot of men who might not understand what you just said, and I really need you to break it down for a lot of men who really don't understand that concept, where you used to be married but now you're not, but you're still with the person that you were married to, and it's like starting over again. Can you break it down to men who really don't understand, who find themselves in domestic abuse situations, find themselves either killing their spouses because they can't handle the breakup or they can't handle the separation? Can you really go in depth into that? Because a lot of men need to hear another man's point of view when it comes to that.
And you know what? I have a lot to say about that. Because I used to be in that predicament. I used to be in the situation that I'm in a situation right now. In that situation, I used to hate her. I want to just kill her. Want to mess up. But guess what? It's not about that. Because I got like to a point like I've got kids and I want to see my kids. It's not about her. I got to a point like, whoa. I still go to work. If I realized that if I hurt her and kill her, my kids is not going to accept that. That's number one. Then number two, my kids not going to love me no more. Then number three, because I killed their mother. Then number four, now why I want to do something like that? The best thing to do, you pull yourself together and be a man. Raise your head up to the sky and tell God, move me on. Get me away from this. Because like I tell you, man, there is more, like my father always told me, there is more fish in the sea. And I realized that. She's not the only one. Even though that you love your kids, you want to be there for your kids. Even though that you don't want no other man to raise your kids, that's okay. Let that other man raise your kids, take responsibility, but you move on because number one, you no good to yourself and your kids when you locked up. Don't worry about it. Let it go. If that was meant to be, it was meant to be. But if it didn't work out, let it go. You start out fresh. That's number one. Then number two, I have been down that road. That was plenty of time that I want to do that. But you know what? But I got to a point, looked at my kids, and I grew beyond myself. I look at my kids current going on. I say, you know what? That woman is not worth it. She's not worth it. I said to myself, you can find love somewhere else. Which you can. And my mother came back and talked to me back in my head. Let that woman go. Forget about her. There's more fish in the sea. Worry about your kids. Focus on your dog. Focus on your bills you got to pay for. Focus on your house. She is not the only thing in your life. And you know what? And she was absolutely right. And once I got to a point I did that, and guess what? I don't worry no more. And y'all gonna do the same thing. I gotta tell you again, don't worry about the looks. That looks, that's one thing about our men. We get like to a point like we see a beautiful woman current going on and they drop us current going on. Don't worry about that. Just move on. There's more other beautiful women in this world. It's not only that. But see, one thing I always say to myself, the ugly woman in this world is the best one. You cannot go by looks. Because you is the one that make it happen. You is the one that got to go out there and get a job. We is the one got to get like to a point if we knock that woman up and get that woman pregnant. We is the one, I'm talking about us men's now. We is the one that have to go out there and work and survive when you start a family and work for that family. But one thing about that though, as you grow in a relationship current going on, things do change as a relationship. Things do not stay the same. Which I'm talking about, the love. You can be with a person for 5 years, you can be with a person 4 years, and that person like that point like things change, the feeling change, the love change, the hatred change, get involved. You know what I mean? But you know what? One thing I found out about life, don't let that bother you. Don't be domestic. Don't fuss at them. Just get to a point like I had learned this on my own. I used to be that way. I'm not that way no more. Because right now, I have God in front of me right about now, and my mother. You know what? If I would have got like to a point and put my mother first and God first, I would have never, ever been in this situation. I wouldn't even got like to a point when you have the cops come to my house. That's another thing, which is not good. The cops came to my house currently because domestic. But then they know I'm a good guy because it's the family matter. You feel me, right? But guess what? Not no more. Because you know why I say that? It's not worth it. Before I let that happen, I'll walk away. My man.
I am so glad that you shared that and you broke that down, because I feel like, excuse me, that's important for a lot of men, and a lot of men, young and old, need to hear that. Just really walk away, because we do see a lot of domestic abuse, and it turns into a more violent situation to where it's now death. Moving on, have you, and I know you mentioned this in your comment, have you ever made foolish decisions in your life that you regret? Not just picking out a woman that looks good. I mean, really foolish decisions in your life.
I read that book current going on with my my sister-in-law, what she had wrote. And she wrote a good book. Nice book. And I read it, and it kind of like hit my heart. But no names current going on. Y'all should get like to a point and get that book, because the book said like foolish woman of God.
A foolish woman but God.
A foolish woman but God. If y'all read that book, oh, Lord have mercy. Especially men's. It doesn't matter, man or woman, but if men's, y'all get that book and you read that book, it will hit your heart. She's speaking about herself like what she had been through. And you know what, to be honest with you, when I read that book current going on, and you know what that book remind me of? Of me. Of me. Of me, like to a point like the way I was treating my wife. You feel me? And that's the reason why I had to made a U-turn, because it reminded me of me. And sometimes y'all guys might read the book, you probably be like, whoa, that sound like me when I was doing my woman. I was doing with my woman. Which is true. Don't feel shame, you know what I mean? I'm not ashamed. But you know what? I told my wife that we still married. We like to put, we still together. No names. But where we going? But you know what? That book got like to a point like it kind of like opened my eyes, current going, because this is something I was doing to her, and this is something that caused her to get to a point to divorce me. Sometimes we men get like to a point that we don't realize that the words that we say out of mouth can be very abusive. Sometimes women can do the same thing. But you know what? As a man, we supposed to be stronger, tougher. But I read that book, and you know what? That book changed me. I took that book to work and read that whole book. Once you get to a point that you read that first page, that second page is going to get interest to you. That first page, then you'll read that second page, and your third page. I don't care what you do, you gonna be like to a point like, whoa, wait a minute. And somebody interfere with you, you gonna get, you know how we do, man? We put something to stop it right there. It can be like a little clipboard, whatever you pin it, right? Stop where you left off from. Trust me, once you read that first book, I mean that whole book, it gonna hit your heart.
What struck you about it that hit your heart?
Okay, what struck me about it hit my heart was because that it was something that I was doing to her. What I mean to her occurring going on, which is a beautiful thing because I read that book because God came to me and told me to read that whole book because it would demonstrate about myself. So it was telling me when I read it, it's like to a point like I need to make a change in my life before I get to a point like I be alone. When I say be alone, I mean us men. Come on now, you already know who want to get like to a point like and start a relationship with somebody else when you up in the age. You got to get like to a point you realize you know her. You get involved with somebody else, you got to start over again. But what about the other person you know? You don't know that person all like that. That person can get like to, she can kiss your toe, rub your back. You don't know that person all like that. It's rough already dealing with somebody that you already know. At least you know that person going on. And you know that you love that person going on. You know what? And by the way, that book, once you read that book, as a matter of fact, that book is a foolish woman but God. You get that book, I guarantee you, you're going to love that book. And you know what? You're going to get to a point like that. You're going to sit down with your wife or your girlfriend, and you're going to tell her, can you please read this book? She said, well, no, read it. Because y'all probably everybody, us men, we probably going through the same thing. Same exactly thing.
Okay, let's change subjects because the world is so big and, as we know, so complicated too. Let's talk about the pandemic and how did the pandemic affect you, affect your job, affect your income?
Well, the pandemic with this COVID-19 situation affected my job a little bit, but I got like to a point like I really didn't let it bother me, let it hurt me, because I know what kind of person that I am. I know I'm a hardworking person, that I know what I gotta do. I don't want to lose my house because of the pandemic. And not only that, I know a lot of people to keep moving on. Just like what they say, it's not what you know, it's who you know. And that's true. I mean, the pandemic affected me in a little way, current going on. But I thank God that I have kids when my hours have dropped. And guess what? And they lift me up, help me and their mom. We is in a situation current going on because we raised them. That's what they're there for. So they lift us up. Cause they don't want to see the mom and dad lose their house. But the pandemic with me is like, I know me and myself and the man of above. I know that what I gotta do. I don't ask nobody for nothing. I try not to. But guess what? You never say never. Because you can be up one day and the next day you can be down.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Now that we're back at work, well, some people aren't back at work, but you have some people who are back at work. Now that we are back at work, and you may fall into the category of being back at work, what experiences have you faced with the COVID-19 being back at work?
Well, due to the COVID-19 current going on back at work, I love it. I like going back to work because I don't like. I mean, with me, I always have 2 jobs. So COVID-19 really didn't affect me because I always work 2 jobs because all my life current going on. I've been like to a point. Thank God that I did, because when COVID-19 hit, it really didn't hurt. It didn't really hit me like that because I have another job. But it affected one job current going on, but still. But at least I had another job to lean on. And you know what? Because you get like to a point like that, you get used to getting up out of the bed, and you know what you got to do to make a living. And you know what a man's side point of view. A good man is going to take care of his kids. And he going to take care of responsibility. Get me wrong now. Sometimes you have men get like to a point like they get jealous of you because you doing good. They see what you do, they want to be like you. Don't worry about that. You keep stepping. You keep marching. You get where you want to be in life. I'm pretty sure all of y'all guys know who is jealous of you current going on. That's life. That's reality. So you know what? Don't let that bother you. I have a lot of people that jealous of me. I know. No names current going, but guess what? I improve. I don't think about that no more. I just get to a point I keep my heads up high. I speak to them, and sometimes I don't even self-speak because enough is enough. And it's best like to point don't speak because number one, when you speak to them, they like to a point like they can carry on and treat you the way they want to treat you. But when they see that you're not speaking, you sending a message to them like to a point like you don't want to be bothered.
So, sticking with the COVID-19, have you been vaccinated? Fully vaccinated?
Oh yes, ma'am. I've been fully vaccinated. You know what? I'm glad she brought that conversation up, y'all guys. You know what? I thank God for that because number one, and I had got that Johnson and Johnson. You know, but I thank God that I'm still living, current going on. I mean, it's nothing wrong with the medication. It's like to a point like, I just thank God that I'm still living. I just need that one shot, get it over with.
Oh, that's good.
You know what? And that's a blessing.
I had the Pfizer shot, and the only side effect I had was a sore arm. The first shot. The second shot, I drank lots and lots of water, and I had no side effects at all during my second shot. So that was good.
You know what, everybody? Don't be afraid to get like to a point. Take the shot. Get the shot. Because number one, because it can save your life. Just like to a point like that, it's a virus going around current going on. Some people say that they take it, and some people say they did take it, and some people say they're not. But you don't know who took it. You feel me, right? So just be safe. On the good side, current going. But like I told my wife, current, I said, "Whoa, I'm still wearing my mask. I don't know who took it, who don't. You feel me, right? When I walk out that door, current, I got my mask. You feel me, right?"
And you know what? When I walk into a store, like yesterday, I went to the mall, my granddaughter and we went to JCPenney's, and when I got up to the cashier, I immediately, out of courtesy, said I received my 2 vaccine shots for COVID-19. And she said, "Oh, that's fine. We have a sign outside the door saying if you received your shots, you don't need to wear your mask." But out of courtesy, because you really don't know, like you said, you really don't know. But the only people who can and will get affected are the people who refuse to actually get the shot. So by me having the shot, I feel comfortable. If I say I choose not to wear my mask, because with women, sometimes with the makeup thing, you don't want to get all the makeup, especially on your mask, and you just did your makeup, and you're like, with men, it's like, they don't care. I'll keep the mask on or off. Don't matter to me. I don't have on makeup.
I know that's right, because we men, we difficult. It's a bit difficult when it come down to female. Like she said, with the makeup current going on, the best thing to do is just like to point, just wear your mask and be on the safe side. And again, like I told you, don't forget about that book, A Foolish Woman But God. Y'all gotta get that book. I'm trying to tell you, it's gonna get like to a point like that. Once you read it, it's gonna speak about the things that what you was doing to your might not be your wife, might be your girlfriend, it might be a friend that you dating, but somewhere down the line in that book, it's gonna relate to you, what you doing to that female. Trust me. Just pick it up and just read it. Because like to a point, like when I read that book, it changed my life. And I'm pretty sure if it changed my life, I'm pretty sure it will change your life too. Okay?
Well, it looked like we might have to have the author back on the podcast just to talk a little bit more about her book, since it's inspired you so much. And I would love to hear a part 2 of what's going on with A Foolish Woman But God. But I'm going to put this aside now, because out of respect, this month is about Men Month. So let's continue on. Getting back on to being a father and Father's Day. How was your father? What can you say about your dad growing up?
My day? When I was growing up as a father?
No. What can you say about your dad growing up?
Well, you know what? What I can say about my dad when I was growing up, it's like he's a good dad. He was a good dad. He's not living today, current going on, but God bless his soul, and I still love him. It's like to a point, he was a good dad, but he didn't show me as to be growing up to be a good father to my kids.
Can you break that down? Because I don't think a lot of young men might understand that. He was a good dad, but he didn't show you how to be a good father. And can you just educate maybe a younger generation on that by you being a lot older than them?
Well, you know what? I'm gonna break it down to you this way. He drinks a lot, and I drink too at the same time, current going on. But he was a dad like to a point like that, beat me a lot, abused me, and that's the reason why I didn't want to treat my kids that way, because it can affect you, not you, what it did affect me, current going on, but it got me like to a point like to be a better father for my kids. And that's the reason why my daughter got like to a point. She went to the Navy because I was tough on her. But to her, she probably felt like that I was rough on her. But I wasn't. I just didn't want her to be out there in the streets. I was trying to be tough and rough on her, but so I want her to go out there and be somebody. And thank God, and she did. But you know what? My father got like to a point like, he treated me roughly. I used to get beat every day. Not every day, especially on the weekend. But he was drinking. And I picked that drinking from him. Mistreated. I see him like to a point like mistreat my mom. And you know what? And that's what I was going through with my ex. Because I learned it from him. But guess what though? I turned that around. Once I read that book, I said to myself, that was me. I was doing exactly the same thing. So when I read that book, A Foolish Woman But God, I said to myself, that's speaking about me. So I had to get like to go to work and think about it. What I was doing to myself and my family and my wife. And like to a point like, now, guess what? Now I see the reason why she divorced me. And ever since then I read that book, all that hatred out of me have changed. Because that book was speaking exactly about me. Because my father didn't teach me nothing. The only thing he taught me when I was small, when I was young, when I was growing up, to be disrespectful. Wow. to a female. Wow. And you know what? I don't want my kids to grow up to be that way. Wow. And you know what? God turned around. Let me tell y'all guys something. Think about it. Two wrongs do not make it right. If you get to a point like that woman get on your nerves, current going on, do like I do now. What I say, what are you fussing about? And you look at them there in the eye, they still fuss. Don't let it bother you. You look at them and say, what are you fussing about? And guess what? You know what they're fussing about? Because it's been going on so long, current going on, and that's all they know. That's all they know, because you've been fussing with them for 5 years, 10 years, 18 years. That's a lot of years. So you cannot get mad at that woman current going on and you tell her, okay, because you trying to make it right now. Only thing you can do, you can talk to her and say, calm down. If they get like to a point like she don't want to calm down, just go to bed. Because that's a lot of years that you bruised that woman. And you know what? And I say to myself, that is a lot of years what I did to my wife. And that's the reason why she divorced me. Don't get me wrong now, we still together. And you know what? And I love her to death now, because I feel so bad. So bad. It hurts me to even think about it. I said to myself, and especially when you got a daughter, went to the Navy current going on, and get like she get like that pull out. Well, I'm used to it. I'm used to it 18 years, so what I expect? That's not good. But guess what? That's 18 years whole life that I taught you to get to a point to grow up to be somebody too now. Right or wrong. But that's 18 years that I want to take back, because I want to love you even more. Now that's 18 years that I could have spent a lot more time with you before you went into the Navy. And that's 18 years she probably saying to herself, my dad really didn't spend that much time with me. That's not good. But God is good. God makes sure that that's 18 years that you want to be out of life. At least, I always tell her mom, which is I already say, and I'm pretty sure y'all guys probably feel the same way. But you know what though? What I always say, and I tell Krista, Renee, you know what? At least I know where she's at. At least I know she's not in the street. At least I know that she's not with her pants hanging out selling drugs. At least I know that she's not in the street when somebody else is taking control of her life. And you know what? God is good. And right now, at least I know she making something out of her life and made so bad about it. And she got a brother. He like to a point he looking at her. She is a role model. He's gonna do the same thing because he is not gonna let her outdo him.
Okay. Thank you for that. On some fun notes, what fun activities do you have planned for the summer with your family? Or even by yourself, who knows? Or with the fellas?
Well, ain't nobody got time to mess with the fellas right about now because we already know the fellas get like to a point, they get jealous one another, you know what I mean, right? So you know what I mean? But fellas can't do nothing for you feel me, right? They get like to a point, they make you assume that, oh, I got your back, boy, you got your back, whoa. At the end of the day, what can you do with the fellas? So it's like, you better off with your family because what I got plans for my family this summer, I think it's June the 16th. This month, my son, he want to go to the beach. He love the waves current going on, and I promise him I'm gonna take him there. And next month, with July, we going to New Hampshire current going on. Me and my wife. Well, she going to the beach too, but we need to spend some time. He going to the beach up there, just trying to see what the world is all about because we never been up there. I'm not trying to do too much because number one, I don't know about this COVID-19. You feel me, right? It's over, but we by ourselves. And in September, we plan on get back on the bus again. And they was talking about like before the pandemic hit. They plan on going to Lake George current going on. I mean, I'm glad that the bus is coming back over the board because the comedy right now is getting back together, current going on. But still, I'm wearing my mask. I'm gonna keep it safe. But I think it's gonna be a good year with the family because it bring me, my family, back closely again, very close. I'm sorry that my daughter's not here. I can't spend that much time with her. She's supposed to come back home sometime in June. She don't know when, I don't know when, but in the meantime, life goes on. I gotta get like to a point and maintain and be a good father for my son that he's here, which he's working, and be a good husband until my wife, to her. What I'm trying to do right now, I'm trying to make up from the things the way I treated her. That's one thing a man can do. I know it hurts. We got pride like the point. We don't want to make up, but guess what? You do that because I'm gonna tell you something. It will take you a long way because nobody don't want to live in a household current going with a female current going on, knowing that. Don't let things get in your way by you saying you're sorry. Just talk about it. You and that woman, y'all talk together, current going on. You know you messed up, current going on. And guess what? And sometimes while you doing that, and she would feel some kind of weakness too. And she would get like to the point that she would share it with you. If you share with her, she gonna feed right back to you. It might take a little time, but guess what? It doesn't matter. Long as that you sharing your love to her, current going on, don't worry about if she share with you or not. Eventually, little on down the line, it might take 2 years, it might take 2 months, 6 months, but guess what? You do your part. Because I'm gonna tell you something. It gotta be some love there in order for y'all two to still be together.
All right. Well, listen, Don Mac, I really appreciate your time today. I really appreciate the conversation and the open candidness that you shared with all the podcast listeners when this launched. This is Men Month, and this is the time for all men to share, develop, and help grow one another. By you contributing your feedback, your wisdom, your experience, this helps other men. And not only that, this helps other women know the signs of a man and helps make the relationship better, helps build up a man. So I really appreciate you taking the time out and celebrating the month of June, because this is very important, not only for the podcast show, but I feel like it's very important for men. And on Father's Day, I would like to treat you to a lunch or dinner for Father's Day. So I don't know which place yet I'm going to have. I like to do my secret shopping around of restaurants like I did with one of my interviewers, Renee, and I enjoyed that. I like my shopping around for restaurants because, like I said, I like to treat my clients like you guys are celebrities. You guys are celebrities to me. You are my celebrities. You guys are the apple of my eye because you are going to make this podcast happen and pop and grow. You. I'm talking about you. So I'm going to take my time and figure out which restaurant I want to choose. So, and like I said, I like doing that. Would you like to end this with a food for thought message?
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. I would love to, current going on. I'm not going to talk that long, but again, I want to have one or two things to say. I said before, y'all, us men, you got to get that book. I'm trying to tell you, A Foolish Woman But God. That is a true book, true life. Just get it and just read it. Just take the time out and read it. If you get like to a point like you get disturbing, criminal, you know how we used to do, you put something there and you stop where you left off from? Continue and read that book. I guarantee you it will change your whole lifestyle around. It changed my life around. That book speaks about yourself, God. It's like you put God first, current going on. It's like to a point like what you going through, current going on. It's like that. You can be going through something, current going on. It tells you about how man don't treat a woman how men should get like to a point like and respect a woman. We shouldn't have to get like to a point like have to treat a woman that way. Read about it. Just read about it. I'm telling you, it's gonna relate back to you. That's what changed me. That's why I got like to a point. That's the reason why I changed on my wife's style right about now. And guess what? We get along just fine. It wasn't her. It was me. Once you read that book, and you think about you, and you think about yourself, and you would come to yourself a conclusion. Well, you know what? If you're not home when you read that book, it will make you get to a point you go home, you love your wife or your girlfriend. It get you like to a point like, what have I done? Can't blame her. You blame yourself. But in the meantime, I'm finna let it go. My man, current going on, it's June month, Father's Day month. Like I say, I love y'all guys. Current going on. We're going to have to keep it real and show some love, okay? Just like homeboy said, okay? Show some love. I'll talk to y'all guys later. All right. Bye-bye.
Well, this is Krista Renee, and thank you for listening to the 90 Day Podcast Show. Listen, if you like the episode, like and subscribe. You can also email me at chypolite38@gmail.com. And that's chypolite38@gmail.com. Or you can make a comment when you listen to the episode. Once again, this is our platform. This is our platform. Take advantage of it. Build it up. Excuse me, something is in my throat. Excuse me. Build it up. This is our platform. Let's make it grow. Let's make this platform grow. This is Men's Month on the 90 Day Podcast Show. This is Krista Renee signing out. Peace and love. Bye-bye.